Turn it up on weekends. Boss a toast to your real friend. Tell me why you
He running about the money.
good time, eh?
Good times, it's gonna be some good times. Man, we used to pull up and let them that hood time. Remember I that it had a walk up trip and she get that time. I don't waste time. I don't have patience, baby. She gon' get on top of it and she gon' she speed racing. We go wild walks up head time. She my boss like a grandson. Come here, baby. I let her write me my suggestion.
The 2K Sports pregame show, presented by Kia.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here. I'm joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Dr. Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight we'll see the Miami Heat playing against the Atlanta Hawks. Checking out Atlanta, they struggled in this matchup last season. Only one win for them through 4 games. They'd like to make a statement tonight. You look at what Coach Budenholzer has done with this Hawks team for several years now. They've been a very tough matchup. How does Coach go out and get so much out of this roster?
You know, coming from a Spurs background under Coach Popovich, which focuses on playing strong team basketball, he's probably the best coach.
It's an Eastern Conference battle at the American Airlines Arena here in Miami, Florida, as the Heat look to work the home court advantage. Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry. From the sideline, we'll have David Aldridge. We'll be hearing from him in just a moment. The Hawks here looking to pick up 1 on the road before returning to Atlanta. It has not been a dramatic change this season to the performance last year in terms of the record, guys. Every game, though, a chance to get better as a team.
This is a special matchup. I mean, we got here tonight 2 rival franchises, a lot of history between the two, and some bad blood. So let's just see how all this adds up in terms of drama.
Well, this game is like camping, intense. These teams are so highly competitive with one another, it's scary.
A look at Atlanta's opening lineup. Bazemore is the 3 with Millsap the 4. Tim Hardaway Jr. out there with Dennis Schroeder. And it's Howard in at the center position. Now, here's Whiteside, and that's going to be a travel. Great, you look up and down both these rosters, and these are incredible athletes on both sides.
So we expect, Kevin, that we're going to get some great highlight plays out in transition here, and you're going to see the court shrink up a little bit for some of the offensive players.
How about the most athletic guy you ever faced?
John Barry? No, I'm kidding, Kevin. I'm kidding.
You like that answer, though, yeah. If he's listening, I'm sure he is.
Yeah, he
no,
doesn't.
Jordan, LeBron, who?
The most athletic player I ever faced was Kobe Bryant in his prime.
I like that answer. Atlanta on D. They're coming off that win against Philadelphia.
And a couple guys got hot early, and then it became contagious. You could see that everybody kind of pitched in when it came to shooting.
Always appreciate an offense that moves well without the ball. There was no standing around. All their guys slashing led to a lot of good looks in tight.
Atlanta's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Rogic against Schroeder. Screen, but Schroeder kicks to Millsap. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder. Millsap's got the opening bucket of the night here for Atlanta. Pass to inside. Now here's Winslow. He's tightly guarded. Bosch kicks to Waiters. From downtown. A second chance effort. Right side, no good.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
A putback. On defense, the Hawks. Winslow kicks to Dragic. Right block shot, so he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. That's on Dwight Howard.
Well, nice work on the interior from Whiteside there. His free throw game is a work in progress.
He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now.
You know, this is not an area where they expect him to contribute. You know, he's a guy that shot below 70% last season.
And the first one at the line is good.
There's definitely a feeling that the Hawks are building the right way around players with great character. Hard to find a selfish player in the bunch. It's the Spurs pedigree of the front office brought over by Mike Budenholzer. They understand that the culture is a big part of building a winning organization.
You talk about the great chemistry of this Hawks team. You see it every time they take the court.
Well, Coach Budenholzer calls it breaking bread, making sure that the locker room has a bond and that you care a little bit about your teammates more than what they're just doing on the court. And you can certainly see the result out there on the floor. The Hawks play a very likable, team-oriented system.
Here's Waiters following the basket by Paul Millsap. Here's Whiteside, and a great job by the D contesting that shot and forcing the miss. Hardaway from outside, and the 3 ball is good. Hardaway has got his first 3 points of the game.
Man, that is not an easy shot right there. I mean, he had to get it off over a much taller defender.
And smart to do that on the perimeter rather than go inside.
Now here's Winslow. Dragic kicks to Whiteside. Just 5 on the clock. It's good. He scores. That's his first basket after missing his first 2 attempts. Now 1 for 3.
You have to do a lot of things defensively to prevent Hassan Whiteside from scoring. He is just an Adonis out there. Look at that body, and still gets those shots to go like he did there.
That's good from Howard on the assist by Bazemore.
Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
That they did, and he's the one guy on D you can't leave alone, or he's going to get to the bucket over and over. Just torched him there.
And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. It would have been hard to believe in the past if I told you Chris Bosh would evolve into one of the better 3-point shooting bigs in the league. But, Brent, here we are. He's been fantastic beyond the arc.
Well, so many things have changed for Chris Bosh after being a dominant player in Toronto, really controlling the right block and having nobody get in his way. Once coming to Miami and playing with LeBron James, he made a significant shift and took a lot of time and hard work to become a very deadly 3-point shooter. Chris Bosh's underappreciated, amazing career continues.
Atlanta with the ball. 1:56 left to play in the first quarter. Ilyasova can't hit.
Very lazy defense there, but luckily they got bailed out by the missed shot. He won't miss many of those opportunities.
The shot's good. And so it's Atlanta with it. This game against Miami here, their first look at the Heat.
Yeah, and they're hoping for a better showing against this club this season. Last year they came out on the losing end.
Now here's Schroeder coming off a stellar performance against Philadelphia. 5 on the clock from 12 feet out. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side.
It's nice to see the confidence he shows on his inside game and ability to get the shot up before the defender can do anything.
Here's Bosh. It's rebounded by Schroeder.
Well, he's a great finisher around the rim, but some stellar defense there stopped that from happening.
The pass to Msaa. No good. Shot missing. Nice D from Bosh. The Heat trail by 3. Good ball movement here by Miami. Johnson, a wide open look. Kept alive. Second shot opportunity. Goes up again. The shot by Johnson, no good. Looking at Miami, they took their win in their last game against the Spurs in San Antonio.
And the deciding factor in that one was their success from the floor. I mean, they just hit big shots time and time again.
Big shots, little shots, are there such a thing? They all hit the shots, and it took the fans right out of it. What a performance away from home.
Here's Bosh, and he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. Schroeder with the ball. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
Well, if you read the scouting report on Schroeder, he likes to get into the basket as close as possible because
and Dwight Howard, a lightning rod figure around the league, subject to a lot of criticism, but
basketball, this is my passion, you know, on the court, it's my sanctuary.
It's an interesting concept that Dwight has to take something very seriously in order to have fun. He does say he has a burning passion to win a championship. He's been in the finals, and this is a guy that's got still a lot to shoot for, he feels, in his career.
It's a great point, Kevin. And the challenge for Dwight is how to balance how serious he is and how passionate he is with having that fun on the court that he's after.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And when you consider how Atlanta is doing, your thoughts?
And it's really about limiting their mistakes. And early on, they've been able to do that here in the first.
having complete control over what it is you're doing and avoiding distractions. It's hard to accomplish, but good job so far tonight.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. And for Miami, look at who they've got out there. They've got James Johnson, also Wayne Ellington out there. Dragic is out there with Whiteside. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Kevin, as always, the Atlanta Hawks run that fluid offensive system that is widely admired. You know, Steve Kerr, our old friend, used to say they get to the next level of their offense. You take away the first option, they automatically get to the second. You take that one, they automatically and fluidly get to the third option. Very few teams do that. Kevin?
Passing and shooting, DA, that's what it's all about. Thank you. Fast break, the Hawks. Here's Delaney. Here's Howard. Second chance shot. A shot, no good. The Heat go the other way with it. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively, for sure. Yeah, exceptional play there to take the bump and still get it to fall.
And the Heat making a change here. Winslow's checked in. Brent, at some point, all NBA players know when it's time to hang him up. Kobe went through it last year. What was the moment for you?
The moment for me, Kevin, was in Portland, Oregon. Happened to be playing against the Portland Trail Blazers. And a guy named Rudy Fernandez was on the Trail Blazers at that time. And Rudy played like the Roadrunner. He did not stop running. And I remember there was a play where I tried to chase him off the screen. He came around the screen, went up for a lob dunk, and I could not catch up to him. And I thought to myself, this might be a good time to think about the end of your career.
It happens that suddenly. You can pinpoint it to one play.
I don't know that every player can do that. But thank you, Rudy Fernandez, for the clear-cut message that that was going to be my last season.
And we're about 2 minutes into the second quarter here. Here's Humphries, and the dunk by Humphries.
Oh, and he went for the two-hander on the slam, using some muscle.
Some urgency from him there, sure. That one's in there. The Hawks lead is cut down to just 2 points with the bucket from Johnson.
And started hot, and he's only gotten hotter.
The Hawks have gone 2 of 6 from the field in the second quarter so far. A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. The dish to Howard. And it's Miami with the rebound. Winslow kicks to Johnson. That's tipped. And here is Hardaway. He had 10 points in the win against Philadelphia. He dishes it to Howard. And taken away by Johnson. Foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Well, that's using your noodle there by Winslow, finding a way to give the defense no choice but to send him to the free throw line.
And to look here at the 10th overall pick from the 2015 draft in Justice Winslow out of Duke. Slipped a bit on draft day, which came as a surprise to some, Brent.
Well, if you remember, Kevin, during that draft, the Boston Celtics tried to trade several picks to move up and get Winslow, but the general manager of the Miami Heat said not so fast. We'll take him here. And when you watch him play, it's clear that he has an incredible impact on the floor defensively. A lot of teams have passed up on him, already kicking themselves.
Hardaway against Waiters, and then Hardaway with the dunk.
Oh boy, to be young again.
Makes you nostalgic, doesn't it? This is to Winslow. From 10 feet out, back to Dragic. Waiters passes to Richardson. Millsap against Winslow. 4 on the shot clock. From deep, Richardson drops in the tray. Here's Schroeder. He kicks it to Millsap. And there's the feed to Schroeder. And a miss there on the triple. Miami trailing. And it's Winslow that time on the assist from Dion Waiters.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hawks.
Trying to get a break in the action to clear some heads here. I mean, they've gone ice cold, and not a bad idea to give them a little quick breather.
Well, take your breather, but then come up with a game plan or a set that produces something high percentage. Let's get back on track. And so much more responsibility for Hawks head coach Mike Budenholzer, named the team president in the summer of 2015. Well, I'll tell you what, he's been well prepared. 18 years in San Antonio, actually played for Coach Popovich during those days where he was an athlete. He'll tell you he still is one, but he's doing a terrific job.
Ellie Reed, he's checked in for Whiteside. Atlanta also making some changes here. Muscala, he's checked in for Humphries. Ilyasova comes in for Paul Millsap. And it's Prince in for Hardaway. .143 left in the first half. Prince kicks to Ilyasova. Oh, and the jam by Bazemore.
I love how Bazemore just takes it to the defense on the drive and finishes that one easily. Shows no mercy when the ball's in his hand.
And it's in there. When you think of the temperament of Mike Budenholzer, comparing him to, say, Greg Popovich, who he was an assistant coach under for well over a decade, Brent, how would you compare the two of them?
They're very charismatic. They're the kind of coaches that as players, once you get some time with them, get a chance to know them, that what they're trying to do is just get the best out of you. That's something that both of them share.
Here's Waiters. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And someone just was baited into that foul. Waiters with the herky-jerky move. Tough cover.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
And he finished last season right around 71% from the line, so not exactly his best percentage.
Free throw, good. Waiters. Well, you look at the Miami Heat, and there's a lot of experience on that roster. But you know, Brent, even the role players who have been in this league for a while, oh, they've carved out nice roles for the team as well.
Yeah, you can never underestimate what it's like to have experience in the NBA, not only in dealing with training camp and a new coach, but the length of a season, and then potentially, if those things all come together, a nice long playoff run. They play a very controlled style, and Eric Spoelstra has the team pointed in the right direction. Great to see young players like Winslow getting some early important minutes for his career.
Muscala dishes to Schroeder, misses from short range.
You can see he just rushed that a little bit, lost the focus, I think.
Reed misses. Hardaway's checked in for Kent Bazemore. The Hawks trail by 3. There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. There's a good screen. Here's Schroeder. It's deflected.
And if they're smart, they can hold it for the last shot.
That's got to be the game plan here. Make this the last possession of the quarter.
Here's Waiters. Miami no good on that time either. Hardaway. That shot no good. And a pretty tightly contested game here as we end the first half. Miami ahead as they end the second quarter with a massive 16-6 run. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks a lot. James, they played very well, but you guys really took them out of that. How did that happen?
Yeah, you know, we talked about how they're on a roll. So our second group wanted to come out, give the energy to the first group, and just do our game, play our game. No expectations, just go out and play hard.
You really backed them up. Thanks a lot, James. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
First half in the books. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Welcome back as we break down all the action. It was a closely contested first quarter for Miami. They never dug too deep a hole for themselves in the first period. The most they trailed by was 5. They look like a more focused team in the second quarter, and what was an early deficit for them has turned into a 3-point lead at the break. Kenny, let's start with you. What'd you think about the Heat?
Well, their reserves showed up tonight. Not just on hustle plays, but in points. And that's what you got to do coming off the bench to maximize your minutes.
And Shaq, what'd you see from Atlanta?
Well, this is a close game. Every point matters. Right now, they're not getting to the line much. To win this kind of matchup, you got to be the aggressor. You got to be, you just got to be aggressive. Let's just see if they can ramp up their intensity, Ernie.
That, sadly, wraps up the halftime show. The third quarter set to begin in just a few. We'll see you right here, though, after the game, so you have that to look forward to.
Kenny had so much more to say.
A great look at American Airlines Arena right on the shores of Biscayne Bay as we welcome you back to Miami. And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. Nice game. Great performance by James Johnson.
That slasher mentality was on display in that first half. He got to the rim consistently.
Well, if you look at his shot chart, everything he's done has been in that painted area, so hyper-aggressive on offense.
The Hawks trail by 3, and on the floor for Mike Budenholzer starting the second half. Paul Millsap out there with Howard. Then there's Hardaway. Then there's Dennis Schroeder, and it's Prince in at the 3 slot. Nobody near Schroeder with nobody on him. He buries the jumper. Schroeder's got the first field goal of the second half for the Hawks. And you see that blonde streak for Dennis Schroeder? His mother used to run a hair salon. She wanted Dennis to dye his hair blonde. Instead, he did just that spot.
Well, it's become a bit of his trademark, Kevin, and during the 15-16 NBA season, even had his number 17 emblazoned in gold back there. So it's not the only thing right now that's setting him apart. There aren't many German players in the NBA. Of course, we think of Dirk Nowitzki first, but Schroeder coming along nicely.
And Dwight Howard, you know, he's lost some explosiveness over the years, but still remains an intimidating presence when he's healthy. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call him a #1 option on the offensive end, but still great in the pick and roll, better than most when it comes to posting, and defensively, when he's moving well, a straight beast.
Second free throw, no good. And talking about Howard's defense, he's blocking fewer shots these days, but he remains extremely difficult to score against in the paint.
Yeah, statistically, opponents still struggle to shoot against him. He has the power and instincts to stop most true centers from getting comfortable on the blocks, and his reputation goes a long way toward unnerving opponents.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Well, you had the feeling that Dwight Howard was going to move on from Houston this last offseason. Ends up opting out and signing on with his hometown team, the Atlanta Hawks. Got a sizable 3-year deal as well.
That free throw missing. And for Howard, he was courted by several teams in free agency, arguably the biggest name at the center spot.
Well, he met with several teams that would have been a good fit, but I think the hometown factor was too hard to pass up with Atlanta. Might be his last big contract in the league. Might as well take it for the team you loved growing up.
And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Well, Chris Humphries was first one of the best rebounders in the league, and now, after a few years of tinkering with his jumper, he's become a pretty good shooting big man. After the 2015 playoffs, Wizards coach Randy Whitman suggested that Humphries work on his three-pointer. Humphries said, "I hadn't really worked on it ever. I just had to adapt. I went at it trying to expand my game so I can play longer." Kevin?
I'm sure we'll see a lot of players trying to add that three, D.A. Thank you.
Wow, the D all over Chris Bosh there, but just so talented, still gets that one to fall.
Hardaway kicks it over to Schroeder. Outside Millsap. Uncovered. And that's an air ball. Not even close. And Bosh gets it to go on the assist by Winslow. 6 points for Chris Bosh.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Pass to Hardaway. Howard up on top. The Hawks working the ball around. Hits the three-point bomb.
Timeout.
Schroeder's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Defense pretty solid there, but Schroeder finds a way to knock one down.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. It seems that offenses in the NBA are evolving so quickly now, Brent. So much less isolation, more spreading it out.
In fact, there's a new offense that just was created while you said that to me, Kevin.
Really, was there?
Yeah. You know, with the way we have these players coming into the NBA that are so skilled, no matter what their size is, coaches are looking at them and licking their chops and saying, you know what, I can do some dynamic things out here that maybe opposing coaches have not seen. And if I know what I'm doing and they don't know what we're going to throw at them, advantage to us.
Best coaching sometime adapting what you've got in the way the game is evolving and maybe changing and tweaking your coaching style just a bit.
And the best coaches in the league, Kevin, end up every year after they amass a new set of talent is to put those guys in the best position possible to succeed.
Here's Johnson, and he floats in for the easy two. Credit the assist on that one.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from the paint.
And the dunk by Humphries.
Oh, get out of his way.
No way the D was going to slow him down. So the wing on the left. Johnson right side. Tries from 10. That's good, and the Atlanta lead is cut down to just 1 on the basket from Bosh.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Outside Hardaway. Millsap a screen. Feeds to Howard. Kicks to Millsap. Clock at 6. Screen by Howard. Hardaway, that's a 2-pointer. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. And where have the shots been coming from tonight? Here's a look broken down by paint, mid-range, and 3-point shot attempts so far for the Heat.
And they're among the top-ranked teams in the conference, in large part because of how well-rounded they are at the offensive end. In terms of their shot distribution, their points are coming from just about everywhere. And that's a key component for any elite offense.
1:58 left in the third. Hardaway for 3.
Yeah, it's tough. His shot's been off today. Luckily, his team still has the edge in the game so far.
A shot by Ellington, no good.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
Johnson kicks to Bosch. Howard with the steal. To the paint. Stolen by Bosch. Johnson at the elbow. Second shot opportunity. He feeds it to Ellington. Johnson in the corner. Passes it to Ellington. Left side Bosch for the lead. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And Atlanta gets called for the foul.
Fantastic job by Chris Bosch there to get the ball that close inside and getting the defense to feel uncomfortable.
These are his 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game.
And 79% from the line a season ago. Pretty consistent there as a free throw shooter.
That one drops. He ties it up. The odd fact for the Heat, they have a lot of left-handed players on their roster, Brent, enough to field a complete lineup. In fact, of softballs. They did so last season.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome to watch, and I'm just not sure how it is that guys play backwards, Kevin, as a right-handed player.
Muscala, he's checked in for the Hawks. Ilyasova comes in for Chris Humphries. And they now lead as the free throw drops for him.
Not your typical big man free throws there. He's lights out.
Millsap a screen. Hardaway passes to Muscala. Now the dish to Schroeder. Takes the 3. It's good. That basket, he's now 5 for 9.
And right there, Dennis Schroeder shows some confidence by nailing the jumper.
Richardson kicks to Johnson. And stolen by Ilyasova.
Not sure if they're aware of the 2-for-1 opportunity.
Well, I'm sure they are. I'll bet we see a quick shot right here.
Hardaway for 3. Atlanta gets it back. 7-second difference. Shot and game clock. Schroeder dishes to Muscala. Schroeder against Richardson. It's in and good for his 6th field goal in 10 attempts.
And not quite as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half. Sticking to the high percentage shots, playing smart with the lead.
Fast break, the Hawks. Schroeder leading the charge and stolen by Richardson. With 1 on the clock. Got it!
Whoa.
He got it! What a shot!
And he beats the buzzer to end the quarter.
Like a guy delivering ice, a very cool customer there. He knew the clock was winding down, but hit it as though there was no other shot.
Head coach Mike Budenholzer is mic'd up along the sideline. Let's check it out.
Just relax. We're in good shape. Keep looking for each other. Keep cutting hard. Everybody look. Let's take care of our defense. More pressure. More.
That's Coach Mike Budenholzer running through the gambit of areas where he feels they need to excel.
Yeah, I mean, and most of all, coach is asking them to be 100% engaged. Give it your all, and then let the chips fall where they may.
And we're set to start the action up here in the 4th quarter, and if it's anything like the first 3, we should be in for a treat. Time now for an injury report.
Hi, guys. The head athletic trainer for the Hawks provided us with some information. He told me it looks likely that it's a strained quad muscle, and you can see for the way that he's limping around that his leg is not well. The season is still very young, but that is bad news to get at any point of the year. We'll see how the team responds without him, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Boy, you always hate to see anyone ever deal with any sort of injury.
And almost for every player, it's inevitable. I mean, injuries are going to happen no matter how well you take care of yourself.
Well, for how hard he competes in the game, you know he's going to do just the same when it comes to rehab. He may recover faster than most because of it.
They've got Dragic. Winslow is out there with Whiteside. Then there's Deion Waiters. That's the group on the floor for Miami. Bazemore passes to Muscala. Back to Bazemore. Stolen by Winslow. Outside Dragic. And Waiters has it in the corner. Pass to Whiteside. Tipped away. It's stolen by Schroeder. And now the fast break. Schroeder with the ball. And here's Prince outside. But they'll get another chance. Bazemore gets the bucket.
And after only making 35% of their shots in that first half, they are slowly getting into a groove here in the second.
Winslow kicks to Whiteside. Off on the layup.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
Prince's shot is good.
Yeah, the D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been from beyond.
Now Whiteside. Inside. Here's Dragic. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good.
Well, getting the ball off the dribble to the bucket is one of Dragic's strengths. You can't afford to let him get that close to the rim, or he's going to get you.
Knocks it loose. They're running. And that one drops for him. And now just a 3-point Atlanta lead.
And we could have been looking at a 2-possession game, but that was a huge mistake on the turnover. Now, nerves becoming a factor.
Well, you hear coaches talk often about the power of 5 and how a team can become greater than the sum of its parts. And there's no doubt that the Atlanta Hawks show and exemplify exactly that. High character, unselfish players, a team with no real superstars, but they certainly play the game the right way.
Chris Bosh is checked in for the Heat. Then for the Hawks, Howard's checked in for Msaa. Hardaway is subbed in for Prince. It's a chance now to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. Mike Budenholzer had some words for his team during the break. He knows his team is struggling tonight from the three-point line, so he told them to go for more quality shots inside. We're shooting way too many threes, he said. No more Hail Marys. Let's get inside to the post. Back to you guys.
And some have wondered whether the Hawks have what it takes to win big, Brent, without a true superstar.
Well, they don't have one, Kevin, but I think they've put themselves in position to land one. They don't have any bad contracts. It's a team that's made the playoffs each of the last 9 seasons, and with Coach Budenholzer's recent success, I think some players may be invited to come and participate in that system. Yeah, pretty much unforced there on the bad pass. He has to just make better decisions on the delivery when he's getting it to his teammates.
And Dennis Schroeder gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul.
I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the 4th. Waiters dishes to Bosh. Back to Waiters. Here's Dragic from outside. Dwight Howard grabs the board. Howard's got his 7th rebound here tonight. Here's Bazemore. No good off the back of the rim. The Heat trail by 3. To the inside. And stolen by Howard. Now here's Schroeder. Atlanta again missing. Outside Dragic. Now the pass to Waiters. He dishes it to Bosh. Waiters on the wing. Guarded by Hardaway. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
Well, we know about him being the 4th overall pick in the draft, and Waiters still trying to find a role on this team.
Two shots.
No good on the free throw. And he sinks the second.
Only down 2 now, but that miss might come back to haunt you. If they don't get a stop, it's back to a 2-possession game.
Fourth quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by. Down low to tie it up. And Bosch with the layup. Bosch has got it all tied up now for Miami.
Not sure how many times Bosch has to prove it, but in tight games, this is the guy you go to. Comes through with a huge basket.
Shooter kicks to Hardaway. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him. To take the lead, here's Waiters. It's good, and they get the go-ahead bucket. And the Heat lead by 2.
Yeah, he's a confident scorer. Waiters is not deterred by the big moment.
They set the pick. Dishes it to Hardaway. He kicks it to Ilyasova. And as it goes out of bounds, Atlanta able to keep the ball here.
Yeah, that's a super defensive play. If that gets through, no doubt they score.
Well, coaches always tell you, if you take a chance, you better get it.
And the Hawks making a change here. Millsap's checked in. There's 1:38 left in the fourth quarter. Just 5 to shoot. From the baseline. And it's Miami with the rebound. Whiteside's got 4 rebounds in this game. Waiters against Hardaway. Gets the pass to Waiters. Winslow dishes to Bosch. And the Heat get another bucket right there.
A gigantic shot from Bosch. That's why he's one of the game's best bigs.
To the middle. Here's Millsap. The shot's good on the assist by Schroeder.
Now that's why Millsap is such a counted-on player. Just knows how to hit the big ones.
Dragic kicks to Bosch. There's the feed to Waiters. Pass to Whiteside. Outside Dragic. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation.
And you can tolerate gas like that sometimes, but in a close game, man, I tell you what, that really hurts.
Time call here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. They're down by 2. There's 37 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Guys, what's your take?
And looking at how much time they have, I think it's likely we'll see them try to get a good look and score quickly.
Seconds left in the fourth. Off the screen. Yes! He has tied up this game. Oh, what a shot.
Those are huge points.
As important a bucket as we've seen all game long.
Feeds to Whiteside. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Nice stroke from the line by Whiteside. You know, he's only going to get better from there with some practice.
He knocks down the clutch free throw. So he gets them both, and it's a 2-point ball game.
Ice in the veins right there. They're one stop away from winning this thing.
Atlanta calls timeout. They trail by 2. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Schroeder with the ball. To the middle. He wants to get the Millsap and does. 11 feet away. Ooh, off wide. And they go to the intentional foul.
Yeah, you can't let them hold the ball and just milk those last seconds away.
Two shots.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead. And so he drops them both. It's a 4-point ball game.
And those could be daggers. That trip to the line puts this one out of reach.
Time called here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. They're losing by 4. 7 seconds left in the game. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, time a huge factor right now. They've got to get points and then the foul.
And this is where 5 fingers need to become a fist. No room for error.
Here's Schroeder. Howard dishes to Hardaway. Fires for 3, and the miss. And so the big win by Miami in a tight game. Probably a little closer than they would have liked it, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah, but I really got a sense that the fans gave them that emotional boost that was needed down the stretch. This crowd, man, they were electric.
Got a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Hey, Chris, a big offensive night for you. What was going right for you out on the floor?
You know, it's not about getting extra shots. I do enough of that. It's just about my mind and my heart working together, and my teammates believing in me, and we always have each other's back, so things are working out well right now.
It was all in sync tonight when you get the win. Congratulations. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. And this broadcast has not ended just yet, as we've got the award-winning Ernie Johnson standing by here for the postgame show.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Kevin, thank you. Superb. And now let's move on to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Chris Bosh. It looked like he was shot out of a cannon coming out of the half. Beyond aggressive, he completely hijacked the pace of the game.
I know a thing or two about high field goal percentages, and his was insane tonight. Tells you about the quality of the looks he was getting. But even when the shot was contested, he still found a way to get it to go. Excellent game tonight.
He was a beast on the boards tonight, guys. There's nobody else, I think no one in the world that could match his effort on the glass tonight. Emotionally, his rebounding gave them a big lift.
And that is a wrap, everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, the entire 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson. See you again soon.